Man, lately I have been discussing my favorite survey apps. I have shown live cash out as well as reviewing various survey apps. Well, what happens when you actually cash out from the survey apps? Do you take the money and spend it right away? Or would it be wiser for you to dump that money into some kind of passive income vehicle that will allow you to earn more money? That is why I have created my turbocharged smart money passive income survey earnings model. So starting from the upper left hand corner, it illustrates fixed income area. Fixed income means, these are the set dollar amount you would expect to receive either on a weekly basis or a monthly basis. Now, I'm sure most of you probably have a job and you would probably get paid every 2 weeks. So that's what I would consider your weekly fixed income. I'm also paid every 2 weeks. So for me, I would consider my day job a fixed income source. Regardless if I work, 40 hours a week, 25 hours a week, 50 hours a week, my bi-weekly income is always the same. Now, it's also possible that some of you are working on an hourly basis and, your company may also pay you overtime. I would still consider that as a fixed income, even though you're receiving maybe overtime payment every once in a while. But I would say generally speaking, fixed income is a source where you would receive money via, working for a company and you expect X of money in return for your time, your services that were performed. And then once you have those money save up, maybe put some aside and invest it into some kind of investment vehicles later on. Now, just because we have a day job, that doesn't mean that we're limited to just that job. For example, I've also had dabble and research on various ways since last year to, earn extra income. And some of these extra income I've earned are from various apps. And this model that I have created only listed out some of my apps, not all. So for example, I have talked about Eureka survey app in numerous videos, right? So I make money from the Eureka survey app. I've also made money from branded survey app, survey spin app, user testing app, and my favorite one is the respondent.io. So actually, I don't think respondent.io has an actual app on the App Store or Google Play, but they have a website out there that basically does like a focus study where it's almost like it is in the form of a survey, but for the most part, respondent.io, they have these like professionals from the corporate world where they're looking for someone who actually specializes or possess a certain knowledge in a certain topic, and they're looking for feedback. So for example, if I work with data on a daily basis, and if someone's looking for maybe like data product that can help them better manage their data as far as the reports, backing up data, all of those stuff, those are like things that I could potentially apply for, and hoping that this client would actually reach out to me and maybe and ask me to do a survey or maybe share screen with me on Teams or something. So I would still classify the respondent.io as part of the survey because technically it's still a survey, but it's more of a live sharing session where the client wants to get your feedback on a certain product or services. This is just an example of some of my favorite apps that would earn money. Now, once I earn the money, that doesn't mean that I will spend the money right away. A lot of time, I would withdraw the money out from PayPal, transfer it into my banking account, and the two main investments that I've done so far are these two. SWVXX is actually a ticker for Schwab Value Advantage Money Market Fund, and this is essentially money market asset, but it's created in a fund that allows you to basically, let's say, invest money today. And if you happen to need the money by next week, then it's up to you to withdraw the money. Unlike a certified deposit, which locks you in for X amount of periods, a lot of these money market fund, like the Schwab Value Advantage Money Market Fund, for example, doesn't tie you up to a certain period. It's up to you as the investor to add as much or withdraw as much anytime you want. The only thing they would need is, like, let's say, for example, if I needed money right now, it's impossible to withdraw it right now. But once I submit an order and say, I'd like to withdraw money, within the next stock market day, they will automatically sell you shares and turn it into cash. So you would get your money the next following stock market day. So currently for this SWVXX ticker, they yield a 4.9% interest rate. With a 4.9% interest rate, that's actually over the course of 1 year, actually. So let's say, for example, if I put, I don't know, like $4,000 invested, and and if I just have it set aside for 1 month, we would take $4,000. We'll add in some formulas. $4,000 times 0.0495. That's after when you convert 4.95%. That equals to 0.0495. And that's about $198. Now, if I'm planning to hold it for 1 month, you would take that dollar amount, $198 divided by 12. And this roughly, it's about $16.50. Assuming if I put $4,000 in it. But $16.50 is not correct because I've just applied a simple math. What happened is, when you put money in a money market fund, the dollar amount accumulates on a daily basis. So you accumulate interest on a daily basis, but it gets paid out on a monthly basis. So the dollar amount that I would receive by the end of 1 month is actually a lot more than $16.50. It will probably be close to anywhere between $18 and $19 when you include your interest and your current principal. So, that's one asset that I have invested in right now. Which is good because I'm able to, let's say, save up money for future, trips that I have, maybe for next year, or expenses where, I have accumulated on my credit card. These are money I would set aside and leave it in a money market fund. Now, for money I have set aside where, it allows me to kind of like play with the stock market, that's where I have my play money. And my play money is where I would typically invest in, one of the fund I have is called XYLD. XYLD is really the S&P 500 cover call ETF, and it currently yields a 9.35%. Think about that. 9.35% is a freaking huge number. The reason why I picked XYLD is because historically, S&P 500 is known to bounce back even from a bear market. If, let's say, you invest money in a small cap or a REIT, real estate fund, yes, they may offer a higher yield, a higher interest rate, but that doesn't mean that your share price will bounce back. And that's why I invested in XYLD. I think currently right now they're going for like $41 and something cents a share. So even if, let's say, the fund dropped to like $40, eventually XYLD will bounce back to exceed $41 because it's based on the S&P 500. And so I have money invested in this XYLD ticker. Currently yields a 9.35%. So let's use the same scenario where if I had $4,000 invested, let's see how much would I get. So we'll take 4,000 times 9.35%, converts that to 0.0935 in decimal. And if we were to invest $4,000 1 month later, we would receive at least $31.16 on average. Now, XYLD, they pay out on a monthly basis as well, and I don't believe they accumulate interest on a daily basis. XYLD is more similar to a blue chip stocks where it pays out dividends. So dividend, it varies every quarter. For XYLD, it just happened to distribute money on a monthly frequency. In fact, here, I'll show you guys some examples as proof. I took some screenshots from my Schwab account, and on my Schwab account, I've added a filter. And also keep in mind, I had money in my Robinhood account earlier this year. I transferred it back to my Schwab, so it doesn't display a full year history of my SWVXX dividends, but it shows some recent transactions. So for example, on June 15th, 2023, I have received $18.33 for my dividends. And then earlier this year, I have received 89 cents. And then, sometime last year, I have received a small dollar amount here and there. The next one I have is XYLD. XYLD is this global S&P 500 covered call ETF. And this is actually the ones that pay me on a monthly basis. So on June 28th, they paid out $16.37. March 1st, 2023, they paid out $11.02. January 31st, they paid out $11.09. January 9th, they paid out $10.33. Like I said, I have my account actually transferred to Robinhood earlier this year. So I have a lot of transactions from Robinhood, which I didn't get a chance to take a screenshot. But yeah, even for last year, it looks like I've invested in XYLD as of last year on June 29th. So even on November 30th, I have gotten paid $10.96. November 1st of last year, I've gotten paid $10.83. September 27th of last year, $10.94. August 30th of last year, $4.79. July 26th of last year, $4.84. June 29th of last year, $4.66. And, once you invest money in these money market funds or covered calls, you have two options. Your first option is to get these dividends or interest in the form of cash. The second option, and this is the one I would recommend, is to reinvest your interest dividends back into the fund. Let it automatically grow again for the next month. And so that way, the next month you have a higher payout. And then for next month, once you have that check on auto reinvest or DRIP, DRIP, it will automatically invest your earnings and back into the fund for it to grow even more. So, by 1 or 2 years later, you have money that grows on its own without you worrying about a single thing. And that is my recommendation for you to take your hard-earned money from your survey apps, take those money and invest it in some kind of money market funds or anything that pays interest. That's one of the easiest ways to earn passive income without you doing much work. As always, there are 1,000 ways to make money. Cha-ching!